It was a terrifying near-death experience that called a mid-Michigan woman to a new Michigan. To a new mission, that is. One that changed how she and her husband would grow their family and will soon change thousands of lives across our state. Thanks to Stephanie Jones and her team of volunteers, as of today, surrogacy is now legal in Michigan. She courageously shared her own journey with us, from heartbreak to making history. In our final story, recognizing incredible mid-Michigan female trailblazers for Women's History Month.
A good drawing set.
A typical school night.
This is a good marker. I'm going to color it in, I think.
For this picture-perfect mid-Michigan family.
That is not a leprechaun.
It's going to be. It's not done
He's
yet.
got to have a hat.
But life wasn't always this colorful.
I will tell you, it was the loneliest, most dark time of my entire life.
Stephanie and Justin's journey to becoming parents began like most couples. And after an uneventful pregnancy, they welcomed their bright, blue-eyed baby boy, David, in 2014. But when it became time to try for a second, they never could have drawn up how their story would go.
It was never on my bingo card. I never thought, at 20 or 25 or 30 when we started deciding to have children that this was going to be what our future was.
In 2016, as they tried to expand their family, Stephanie was rushed to the hospital in excruciating pain, soon going in and out of consciousness.
The only thing I was thinking about was my son. I thought, I cannot leave my son without a mother. I mean, his face just flashing in front of my eyes, just thinking, I have got to fight for everything in me.
Stephanie was several weeks pregnant and suffering from an incredibly rare cornual ectopic pregnancy, where the fertilized egg had implanted into the fallopian tube and it was rupturing.
It was a mere minutes between my life and my death, because at that point, when they were operating on me, the doctor had to actually put the table at a 45-degree angle to keep the blood to my brain. Most women do not even survive corneal ectopic pregnancy ruptures because of how critical and dire they are, just because you're hemorrhaging.
Stephanie was one of the lucky ones, and almost 2 years later, they got pregnant again. But lightning struck twice.
So in 2018, on October 13th, I had a reoccurrence of another corneal ectopic pregnancy, which is medically unexplainable. Like, no one that I have talked to, not one physician, not one doctor, not anyone can explain how or why that happened.
It was then that her doctor told her surrogacy would be her only option to have her own children.
And I start Googling, like, okay, we can do this, like surrogacy, Michigan. I remember going from what I thought was the lowest of low to the absolute darkest corner of my soul when I remember Google telling me that surrogacy was banned and illegal in the state of Michigan.
Michigan was the only state in the country with a ban still on the books.
And I thought to myself, from that very deep, dark corner of my soul, things were going to change. And that was rooted in my bones. And until things were going to change, I wasn't going to rest.
She got to work. And in 2019, she founded the Michigan Fertility Alliance.
Michigan Fertility Alliance, I always say, was literally born when I nearly died.
Out of darkness came light. As she began to grow her team of volunteers, she also worked on growing her family via surrogacy.
We kind of scraped together our life savings, and out to Portland I went, because we had to create embryos, we had to go through the process, and then we had to find a carrier, we call her an angel without wings, like who is going to carry our daughter.
That angel without wings gave birth to their second child, baby Leona, in surrogacy-friendly Kentucky in 2020, just as efforts to give Michigan families that same option started ramping up, eventually culminating in the Michigan Family Protection Act.
So first we're going to have Stephanie Jones, who's the founder of the Michigan Fertility Alliance.
The Michigan Fertility Alliance is a volunteer-run grassroots organization that represents the 300,000 Michiganders who need assisted reproduction and or surrogacy to build or grow their family.
It kind of brings Michigan out of the dark ages and into current times to represent the modern family and how all families grow, all families love, all families expand, and that's really what is the most imperative thing of this bill package.
It's all about giving women access to another way to have a child, while ensuring that every child has equal protection under the law.
Last year, the governor signed the Michigan Family Protection Act into law. And now it's in effect.
April 1st, people have options in Michigan that they've never had before.
Not only is surrogacy legal, but it also protects families who need fertility treatments and ensures that all children born through fertility treatments have secure parentage rights at birth, eliminating vulnerabilities and the need for a lengthy and costly adoption process.
Come on, guys.
Laws that support future Michigan families just like theirs.
I always say you take your sorrow and you turn it into your superpower, and the superpower is the result is this law that's going to benefit hundreds of thousands of people. Do you want to get that? Would you want to use that one, or you want to use this?
Giving all families
So it's like that we would.
the missing pieces
Got it?
they've always dreamed of. While surrogacy is now legal in Michigan, it is by no means cheap. Stephanie and her husband spent roughly $176,000 during their journey. That's why the Michigan Fertility Alliance already has a new goal in mind, getting insurance to help cover the cost of fertility treatments. If you'd like to learn more about the Michigan Fertility Alliance, you'll find a link in this story on WNEM.com.